Hi guys, it's Mrs. Gassman here. Today we are going to be solving multiplication equations. We've already done addition and subtraction this past week, but this week we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on just multiplication. So I want to go over a couple of quick things before we get started. Number one, up here in the corner right here, I have this orange square and it says vocabulary. Inverse operations. It means operations like add, subtract, multiply, and divide that undo each other. So we're going to continue to work with that, okay? So today from our textbook, I want to focus on one of the properties that we need to know when we're multiplying equations. The division property of equality says this. If you divide both sides of an equation by the same non-zero number, the two sides will remain equal. So here I have 2 times 6 is equal to 12. Now, it seems silly to divide both sides by a 2, but if I divide this side by 2 and the other side of the other expression by 2, 1 times 6 is 6, and 12 divided by 2, that is 6. That's that whole idea that whatever I do to one side, I have to do it to the other. So we're going to apply this property right here, right now, to what we're going to be doing today. Okay? So I want to give you a vocabulary word, another word that kind of relates to what we're doing right now. That word is simply, give me just a moment here, that is simply to isolate. And as we know, to isolate means to put something by itself or to be alone, like we are isolated right now because of our situation. So we're going to isolate the variable. So as I go through today, I want to go ahead and give you a problem and show you what we're going to do. So if you want to stop the video and go get paper and pencil, that would be awesome. That'd be great. And we will continue on. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move forward. So now I'm going to create a problem today. What if I have 3 times x, and that is going to be equal to 210. 3x is equal to 210. How do I solve for x? Okay, so I need to isolate the variable. Okay, I need to get x alone. So I'm going to take this property and I'm going to divide both sides by 3 because this is multiplication. The opposite or the undo, the inverse operation would be to divide. So I'm going to divide by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and make it like a division sentence here. Okay, that means divide by 3. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side to undo. So I'm going to divide by 3. So now in order for me to solve for x, I'm going to have to do the math. So over here, I'm going to take 210 and I'm going to divide that by 3 real quick. 3 doesn't go into 2, but it goes into 21 7 times. That's 21. Subtract, bring down my 0. 3 goes into 0, 0 times. Subtract, I get nothing left over. So x is going to be equal to 70. Okay, does that make sense? 3 times 70 is equal to 210. Whoops. Are both of my sides of my equation the same? Yeah, they are. 3 times 7 is 21. That's 210. Very good. So let me take a moment here. We're going to do one that's just a little bit more complicated, just so you can show that we can do decimals, we can do fractions, everything. This idea applies to whatever kind of math we're doing. So what if I were going to be doing, let's say, what if I have a decimal? 1.5 y, let's use a different variable, equals 3. And this is a very simple one. I still want to show you that this is still a multiplication problem. All we have to do is divide. So I'm going to divide by 1.5 on both sides. Whatever I'm going to undo on this side is what I divide by. So now if I take 3, top number goes in the box, 3, and I divide by 1.5. First, I've got to move my decimal. Got to move my decimal, add a 0, bring your decimal up. Okay, now 15 goes into 30 2 times. 15 times 2 is 30. That makes nothing. So y then is going to be equal to 2. Okay? All right. Since this standard says that you're supposed to be able to do this with a real world problem, that's hard to say. We're going to do one really quick. So let me show you a problem that I have here on the board already. I'm going to pull this one up. And I want to make it bigger so you can read it with me. And I want you to see this really cool picture of candy I have here. That's my daughter's favorite kind of candy. All right, so Stella, she buys 2 pounds of Sour Patch Kids for her birthday party for $6.50. She solves the equation 2p equals 650. Find the price, which is p in dollars, for 1 pound of candy. So I want to know what 1 pound is. So I need this 2 to become a 1. So what am I going to do that? I am going to, set this whole problem up. So I have 2p equals, I'm going to leave the dollar sign out for just a moment, to $6.50. Okay, I want to know what 1 is. So I'm going to isolate that variable right there. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, so if I take $6.50 and I divide by 2, that goes in 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Nothing left. Bring my decimal up. Okay, bring down my 5. I'm going to run out of room, boys and girls. 2 goes into 5 2 times. So if I subtract 4, that leaves me with 1. And I'm going to bring down my 0. You're just going to have to imagine. And that would be 5 times. So P is going to be equal to $3.25. 1 pound will be $3.25. That means 1 pound, which is the P, times 2 makes $6.50. All right. Just to remind you what we did today, we solved multiplication equations. We used the division property of equality to isolate our variable so that we could solve for the variable. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Okay.